today's video I'm going to be talking about something that pretty much just happened to me like a week ago, maybe less than a week. So I'm going to be talking about being ghosted. If you don't know what that is, it's where you're in a relationship, friend relationship, boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, some sort of a relationship, whether it would be for 6 months, a year, 10 years, and all of a sudden this person just one day gets a hair up their ass and they just disappear. They don't talk to you, they don't say peace, they just leave, and you're just like, what the fuck, are you dead, are you alive, are you okay? And you never know, because they don't tell you. You can try to get into contact with them, and they just still ignore you. So that is something that happened to me. So, I'm going to get on with the story. So, about 2 or 3 years ago, I was really bored. Like, my phone was dry as fuck, and I had nothing to do, nowhere to go. So for shits and giggles, I downloaded a bunch of stupid dating apps. Again, just to fuck with people and mess with people, because I'm evil like that. So I was just like swiping right. I wouldn't even let the pictures load. I was just, just swiping right. And this one guy messaged me, and we're going to call this guy Douchebag. So Douchebag messaged me and said, hey, it's so-and-so, it's Douchebag from school, do you remember me, blah blah blah, and we just started talking. I didn't really like him, this Douchebag, when we were in school, but I thought, it's been 5-6 years since we've been in school, you've probably changed, matured, grown up, so I was like starting to talk to him, and this Douchebag, he was nice, seemed like a decent person, and I gave him my number. No, I don't give strangers my number when I signed up for these like dating sites or whatever. He was the only person that I gave my number to because I had known him. So we started texting, and then we started, texting, talking, whatever. Then Douchebag added me on Facebook. And I don't really go on Facebook that much. Like, I made my Facebook right when like MySpace stopped being a thing, so I made Facebook, and now I don't use it. Anyways, so we were still texting, blah blah blah, and he said he liked me, he wanted to date me, and I was just, nah, I wasn't feeling it. I mean, I liked him, but I didn't see it going anywhere, so I never said yes or no. I just avoided that when he said that. I just like changed the subject. So I guess he took the hint and he stopped talking to me. And when I would go on Facebook, which is not very often, the first posts I would see were always his. And the first post I saw was, oh, I'm in a relationship with this girl. So I was like, okay, that's cool, whatever. Didn't bother him, because I'm not going to do that. Like, if you're in a relationship, I believe you should just be with that person. You shouldn't talk to other girls, this, that, whatever. So I wasn't going to say anything or do anything. I minded my own business. So about like a month or two, like the next year had gone by, and we didn't talk. And another month after the year, was like 2 or 3 months, like January, February, he texted me again. And we started talking again, and I was going through a really bad time at that time. And he was there. I didn't tell him what was going on because I don't know, I didn't feel like telling him what was going on, but he was there, he comforted me, he was funny, like I said, he was funny, he was nice, and he eventually asked me out, and I said yes, which, when I first started talking to him, I was like, no, I don't like him, I still don't like him, and when I said yes, I still really didn't like him, but I thought, you know what, maybe I'm wrong, maybe he is really nice. So, for the first few months, it was kind of weird, because when he had a girlfriend, he would still text me, like, randomly, like, we wouldn't be talking at all, like, we hadn't talked for months, and he would randomly text me once, and I would just be like, I would reply, but I wouldn't, like, try to carry the conversation. He'd ask me something, I'd give him, like, a dead-ass, boring answer, so he'd leave me alone, because I didn't want him to keep bugging me. So that was always in the back of my mind when he asked me out, like, who are you talking to? Are you talking to someone else? So that happened, and the very first time he asked me out, and I said yes, which was over a text message. I kid you not. He said, "I love you." And I was just like, what? Like, you don't know me. Like, you don't know me at all. And I didn't say anything back. So, fast forward, a few months go by. He says all these things like, "Oh, I'll see you at 5 o'clock, I'll pick you up." 5 o'clock comes, whatever day it was he was supposed to come see me and pick me up. Never would hear from him. Never would I see him, never anything. And that, to me, should have been a red flag. You know, I should have said something. I said, "Where are you?" And he'd give me some shit excuse like, "Oh, I lost my keys." Bullshit. You didn't lose your fucking keys. So, douchebag, you know, that would happen pretty much the whole time I wanted to see him or hang out with him. Therefore, we did not see each other very often, which was weird. And every time he wanted me to go out was with him and his friends. And I'm the type of person, until I get comfortable with that one person, I don't want to be with your friends. Because if I'm not comfortable with you, I'm not going to be comfortable with you and your friends. That's just me. So, I would say, "No, you can go, have fun." And then he'd be like, "Okay, thank you for letting me go, blah, blah, blah." But then randomly, after we had said all that, he would say, "Nothing's going to happen." Okay, I didn't think that, but now that you said that, that makes me think you're going to do something. Again, I never said anything, and these all should have been like red flags. So, we had been dating, and I'm not going to go in like specific order. We'd always text, almost every day, all day, we would text, talk, whatever. So, it's been about a year now at this point. You know, everything that I just mentioned was still happening. So we finally spent the night together. And no, nothing sexual happened. Like, I'm not a hoe. We just talked, and I have a sister, and he knows my sister. And my sister's like the complete opposite of me. She's very skinny, very pretty, very outgoing, not afraid to talk to people if she doesn't know them. A people person. I am not a people person. In school, I was the person that if you didn't talk to me, I didn't talk to you. If I felt comfortable and I knew you, then I would talk to you. But other than that, I could have a million classes with you and never talk to you. That's the girl I was in school. And my sister was the opposite. Everyone knew her. Everyone would come up to me and say, "Your sister did this, aren't you?" "No, I'm not my sister." And that, when we spent the night with each other, that's all he kept saying. Was, "Well, your sister's this, well, your sister's that." I'm not my sister. I'm me. And so we didn't really do anything. We ate pizza, we watched TV, you know, we cuddled, whatever, and that was it. So, went home, texted him, you know, "I'm home, I miss you, I love you," this, that, whatever, because it had been almost a year. So I said, "I love you," whatever. And it was like the next week, because he had work, so he couldn't see me again until like the next week. And when I say the next week, this was like 2 weeks ago this happened, the ghosting part. He texted me saying, "Yeah, I love you, I miss you," like the whole week that he was working when he couldn't get off, like that weekend. He said, "I get off, I have the next week off, like the 3 days of the weekend off, and I'll see you, and we can go do whatever." So like, okay, "I love you, I miss you." And then it was Thursday, like Thursday, August something, I don't remember the exact date. I still have the text messages, and I was like, he said, "Okay, we can see each other this weekend for sure, and I'll let you know what day, what time, when it's closer to the weekend, like Friday or Saturday." So I was like, "Okay, I'll see you later." And that was it. That's the last time I ever heard from him. When I didn't hear from him Friday, I was like, okay, he's working, because he works early, from like 4 in the morning till 5, 6 at night. So I was like, okay, whatever. Saturday came. Didn't hear anything. So about Saturday afternoon, I was like, "Hey, are you okay?" Nothing. So Sunday, I texted him, same thing, "Are you okay?" Nothing. So Monday, I was getting pissed. You know, it still didn't register to me that this was happening, because he's like ignored me before. So I sent him like a meme. It was like a really stupid meme. because most of the time he'll like say something about it. Didn't hear anything. So I called him. It rang and it rang and it rang and it rang, went to voicemail. Didn't call me back. So then something started clicking. So I sent him like a long, like, fuck you message. Still nothing. So then I called him again. Still nothing. I told one of my friends, this was like, all this happened, like, I called him on, the first time I called him was like Tuesday or Wednesday. And then Thursday to Friday is when I told my friend this was happening, and she was pissed. She's one of those person, the minute you piss her off, like you could just piss her off by dropping a pin and she'll go off. Like she'll chew your ass one side and down the other. Like she doesn't take shit. So I told her what was happening. She asked for his number. I was like, here, you can have it. So she texted him and he said, who is this? And she never said who she was or that I told her to do it or I gave her his number, anything. And she said, is this douchebag? He never said yes or no. He just said, who is this? So she went ham. She's like, how dare you just break up with your girlfriend and you don't text her, give her a reason, you're a piece of shit, fuck you, you're a coward, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was like a paragraph long. And he just kept saying, who is this? This isn't douchebag. If you call this number, text this number again, I'm going to call the police. And I was just laughing when she told me that, like, because you can call him and do a reverse phone number search. And every time I did that on 2 different websites, it came back to his phone number. The phone was registered to him, and when you called him, it says, please leave a voicemail, and in his voice says his name. And you're gonna act like he don't know who this is, or act like this isn't him. Okay, so when she told me that, I was pissed. And I cried, and I cried. Friday and Saturday, I cried. That's all I did. This past weekend, all I did was cry. Because how can you just sit here and tell this person every day you love them, you miss them, all this shit? You know, you don't have to give me, like, the truth of a reason. You can just say, hey, it's not working for me, I'm sorry, and that's it. Or I found someone else, talking to someone else, whatever. It takes 5 seconds to do that. And he couldn't do that. So I downloaded, this was where I feel like I fucked up and I shouldn't have done this. I feel like I made this worse, but I was so pissed, I didn't care. I downloaded one of those texting apps where it gives you a number and you can text whoever because you're just using the internet. And I texted him from the number. And he was like, who is this? And I told him who it was. I thought about lying and saying it was Sarah. I don't know who the fuck Sarah is, but I told him, and he was like, well, who are you looking for? And I was like, you want to play stupid? I'll play stupid. I was like, oh, I'm looking for my boyfriend. And I kid you not, he said, well, maybe he changed his number. So I said, well, who is this then? He didn't answer me at all. So 2 hours had passed by, and I was still pissed. Like, he was acting as if he wasn't douchebag. He had no idea why somebody would be mad at him, why people would be saying these things to him, like as if he did nothing wrong. So I got my mom's phone and I called him and he answered and he said, who is this? And I was just, at that point, I was just so pissed. I didn't want to tell him who I was. I didn't say it's Amy. I looked at the phone and I said, who the fuck do you think it is? And he hung up and he blocked her number. And then he texted me. Then I texted him back on the app that I was using, and I said, you're full of shit, you know, this is, I know it, you can say it's not, but I can call you, look it up on the phone, like do a reverse phone search, and it says it's you, your voicemail says it's you, when I search your number on Facebook, it registers back to you, so you can cut the shit, I know it's you, like all I wanted was a reason why, and that's it. And to me, like, the minute I said that, he said, well, I don't know who you are, I'm blocking this number. Okay, block the number. I made another one. And again, I was like, just tell me what I did. He blocked that number. So then he texted my phone and said, I don't know who you are. Please leave me alone. And I was like, well, just tell me what I did wrong. Like, I was still pissed. And he said, I'm not going to ask again. Please leave me alone. So it's Monday now, obviously. And after that, all that happened, and he said, please leave me alone. He blocked my number. He blocked me on Facebook. He blocked me on Snapchat. Like, why? Like, why would you let somebody, and it was almost a year next month we would have been dating. Why would you not say something to someone? Like, to me, that means you were hiding something, or you did something, and you don't have the balls to say, you know what, this isn't working for me, or I messed up, I did something, whatever. But no, you had to be a pussy and just drop off the face of the earth with no explanation. And for the past 4 days, the only things I was thinking before it hit me that this was what he did was, you know, is he dead? Did he get in an accident? Did something happen to him? Did someone take his phone? Did he give his phone to someone? Am I being punked? Like, what the fuck is happening? You know, because everything was going fine. There was no arguments. So to me, that's a pretty shitty way to end something. And then on his Facebook, he deleted everything about me, which is fine. I don't care. Except for the fact that he was in a relationship, and his status still says he's in a relationship, because I ain't gonna lie, I kind of stalked him before he blocked me. And so to me, that's telling me he cheated on me, and he's just not gonna say who he's with yet, because it doesn't say in a relationship with someone, it just says in a relationship, and that's it. So, shout out to you, you fucking piece of shit. I'm still, like, I'm over it, I'm over him, I'm just not over what he did, if that makes sense. So I just, like, yesterday morning I got up, I started to eat breakfast, and I cried. Not because I cared anymore about him, but because I don't see how people could do that. Like, talking to someone, whether it be a day or a year, like, if you genuinely cared about that person, loved them, whatever, how can you just 5 minutes later act as if you don't fucking know who they are? Like, that's heartless, that's rude, it's disrespectful, and I don't have any other words. So that's what happened to me. That's my bad. But what I learned from this was, I'm not the best girlfriend. Like, I'm not the most affectionate person. Like, I'm not kissy, touchy, feely. Like, that's not me. I don't know if that's what it was, but it made me realize I take a lot of shit that I shouldn't have. And there was a lot of red flags, you know, that I would tell people about, and they would say, well, you need to do something. You need to say this, do this, break up with him. And I defended him, and I shouldn't have. That's what I just came to realize. If somebody does this to you, it's not your fault, it's their fault, because they either did it because they didn't want to have to face you. They thought this was, like, the easiest way to end it for whatever fucking reason. Like, I feel like that just starts more drama. And I feel like it showed me who he really was. He wanted one thing and one thing only. But his actions in the relationship spoke louder than the words. And that's what I'm saying. If somebody says, okay, I'm going to pick you up and we're going to do something, I'm not saying you have to say something to them right then and there and chew their ass, but just note that in your head. Okay, you said this, you didn't do it. That should show you how much they care about you. Because if you're in a relationship that you're committed to, then that person should do whatever it takes to see you all the time, make sure you're okay, text you, you know, take you out places, come get you. And this guy that I dated, he did none of that. And it wasn't like I lived 10 hours away in butt-fuck nowhere. Yeah, that was my story. That's what happened to me. You live and you learn, and now I know. So, thank you for watching this video. I'm sweating my ass off, and I hope you enjoy. See you in my next video. Bye!